What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to my doggy Paul Shaw for coming through and boosting up the coin. Wow, man, this has been a mad 24 hours. We got some breaking news, ain't no one heard before, exclusively leaked. You best believe it. 20 hours late, bash. Maximus Danelius has fell off. He flopped. Yeah. Bottom line. And I gotta listen. You man know by now, I'm splitting this up into two videos, but as it happens, all's not lost. This is essentially Parker vs. Macaulay is up there. We're going to talk about Macaulay in a separate video, because I'm fixing to dig your man's pockets twice, you best believe it. That's twice as many ads, that's twice as many residuals. Oops. Anywho, at the time though, when this came out, I was like, come on. Yeah, this came out hours ago out of nowhere. Bash, Okoli, David Alalele and Murad Aliyev are among the options being considered to potentially replace Daniel Dubois and fight Joseph Parker on Saturday night, a source has advised The Ring. Dubois is sick and currently being evaluated by a doctor to determine whether or not he can still fight. Yeah? I saw this, I was like, no, that's no good. That's no good. Again, another post here. The Ring has learned IBF heavyweight world champion is sick and currently being evaluated. Okay, that happened. Essentially, I'm not here to speculate on what it was or what it wasn't. People are saying he bottled it. Now, you can say, YB, you've been sucking off Daniel, so you're never going to say he bottled it. I don't think he bottled it, is the truth. And I'm glad, to be honest, when I've got $80 on the line, 80 people, do you know how many hours work that is for, man? That's 8 hours of work. Yeah, I ain't playing. Don't play with my money. Maximus Danielis, he knew better than that. And I respect him for that. Don't be coming in there. People, I ain't interested in hearing, oh, well, I was sick after the fight when my coins have been bumped. So I respect Daniel for being honourable. If you ain't ready to fight for the YB's coins, don't bother. Call it off. I'll get refunded. And there's no harm, no foul there. Yeah, history won't remember. And let's listen. Dubois hasn't made a career out of pulling out like Tyson Fury. History will remember, as long as it's not all the time. Look at Artur Beterbiev. He's often, not so much at the very last minute, but he often pulls out a few weeks before the fight, injured or whatever. There's no harm in that. History won't remember that. Unless you've done it every single big fight, then maybe history will remember that you capped it and ducked all the top fighters. But as far as I'm concerned, Dubois fought Miller, AJ, Ergovic, all as underdogs, and he went in there and handled business. He's allowed a reprieve for me. That's what he's earned. He's earned a reprieve. Now, if it happens again, if, for example, Dubois and Macaulay is scheduled and he gets sick again, then we can start talking about him flapping it. But he's got enough credits with me. I don't believe he's bottled it at all. Bottled it for what? Of all the fights to bottle, Joseph Parker, don't get me wrong, Joseph Parker was game. We know that now for a fact. He was proper game. But a proper game Joseph Parker, the worst case outcome is you get boxed up and you lose on stinker on points. Ask Wilder, ask Zhang. That's the worst case. You get boxed up and it's a stinker on points. You don't get hurt. No one's cacking it from Joseph Parker. I'm sorry that it's not. If people, let's call a spade here. Dubois, this fight was a voluntary. It wasn't ordered. He didn't have to take this, right? It don't make no sense that he's flapped it. He legitimately didn't feel well. And Frank Warren reveals here, this is the latest, this came out 20 minutes ago. Frank Warren reveals that he tells fighters, yeah, if you're not feeling 100% or top up there, somewhere in the upper quartile of feelingsness, don't bother. It's no good. No, people, again, I'd much rather hear him say, you know what, there's something not quite right, I take this one off. Yeah. Then after the fight, go in there, hanging, get me bumped, and then say, well, I was ill. Not trying to hear that one. That's what I wouldn't be trying to hear. That would become an excuse. By doing it this way, there's no excuses. He ain't fighting. Whatever. It's not his fault. It happens. And we can all sit here and say, like I heard some corny talk sport gimp say, well, some football. You know, footballers, yeah, you man don't know what you're talking about, all due respect. Kicking a football ain't boxing. You got 11 man deep, 10 man deep to bail you out if you're not feeling too sharp. And besides, what are you doing? Jogging around a football, kicking a ball around. Come on, people. It's nothing like boxing. In boxing, it's you and another man. Now, I don't know if any of you, man, have never been sick before. Yes, we put these fighters on a pedestal, but I've been sick before. And what's the very last thing I'd want to do whilst I'm sick? That's box. I remember last year in August, I couldn't even walk up the stairs, and I was proper. I'm pretty fit, right, in terms of cardiovascular system. It's pretty fit. I'm not like I don't sit around doing nothing. I couldn't walk up. I'd walk up the stairs, and I was like proper puffing. So imagine having to fight 12 rounds. No, and I'm not saying Dubois was ill to that extent. He was gluing the open workout. He didn't look that bad. But either way, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth me having to come on here and roast your ass. He knew better than that, and I salute him. I salute Maximus. That's honourable. It's not honourable to get in there, get punched up and make excuses. Well, like Parker did against Joe Joyce. Oh, I was sick. Okay, maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe you just got punched up. We don't know. I'm not interested in doing it afterwards. Pull out if you need to. Pull out if you need to. You best believe it. Yeah? I want to see two healthy men compete. I don't want to see a sick man and a healthy man. And that goes both ways, to be honest. Yeah? If Parker had it, come on, I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have roasted Parker saying he bottled it. But still, logically speaking, it's the right thing to do. And a lot of the times when pull-ups happen, it's more my frustration that I'm not getting, the masses aren't getting the titillation I've been looking forward to. Logically, I know it's the right thing to do. You can't fight when you're sick. You can't compete in any sport at the top level when you're sick. You just can't do it. It's not possible. You can be as fit as you want. When you get sick, all that capacity you had, it goes down to zero, man. I've experienced it myself. Puffing going up the stairs. Hanging. Your heart rate's pumping 130 laying down. There's something wrong there. Now, it does have to be said before we get to Frank Warren's bars. What's going on in Saudi? Yeah? Now, Floyd Schofield, who pulled out of the Shakur Sleepvinson fight, he's come out since. Let's have a look if we can find it. Floyd Schofield Instagram. And the reason this is relevant is people were saying, oh, he's bottled it. He was too heavy for the weight. Yeah, he couldn't make the weight. He's come out, put a video out. I can't find it. Take my word for it. He put a video out showing he was on weight. What was it, like 138 pounds or something like that? Let me see if I can. Kid Austin. He showed he was more or less on weight for a 135-pound fight. It must have been 138.6. No, take my word for it. I saw the video. There was a video. Kid Austin said, no, there's nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with my weight. I actually got sick. He was on weight. So it wasn't the fact he needed to lose loads of weight. My point is, I didn't believe Schofield. I thought he bottled it. But now, can I sit here and say Floyd and Daniel Dubois bottled it? Bottle what? He's not bottling it from Parker. He's not. He's never bottled it. Even when he bottled it once he got punched up. But he's never flapped a fight. He didn't flap fighting Usyk and pull out. I don't believe it. I don't believe he's turned into a diva like Tyson Fury. So there's something going on here. I don't know. They call it Delhi belly. If you go to India, yeah, they're man on a madness, putting all their hands and shit in there. So you get the runs for like 2 weeks out there. Is it something similar? Yeah, too many curries and that. I don't know what these men are eating. If I was doing it and I'm a multi-million-dollar fighter, I'm importing my own things, man. Because even if you, I don't know, your belly's, the way they purify water in different countries is different, etc., etc. Now, if you're eating beef from another country, that beef drinks the water that is made. So my point I'm making is that you might not necessarily drink water out of the tap, but food you eat from that country will have moody water in from that country, right? Unless it's imports. Unless it's imports. It's going to be exposed to moody things that your body's not used to. So if I was a multi-million-dollar guy, yeah, I'm flying out my own food. I'm hiring a nutritionist and let him pattern it all up, export it from the UK, keep it normalised. Yeah, gut inflammation apparently is really important in general to health. So if you're going out there, I'm not saying the food's bad, but it's just different. If you go out there and get a bunch of gut inflammation, you're not feeling right. And even if it's not to do with sickness, you want to be at peak performance. And I don't believe you can be at peak performance by taking in new things that you haven't necessarily had all the time. I wouldn't have assumed Turkey's hotel that fighters are staying in are importing food from the UK, or if you're even from the States, importing food from the States. You want to keep things consistent. So I think it's probably one of them ones. Delhi Belly, man. Yeah, one of them ones there. Because it doesn't make sense. Why would Turkey poison them, man? Someone's saying he poisoned them. I don't know. Why would Turkey poison Dubois for, though? I don't necessarily see a narrative there. Now, if Dubois was fighting Kabayel, oops, right, I'll be saying, hey man, bash, they poisoned his big black ass. That's what it did, man. Turkey trying to put one of his dudes on. But for Parker, really? There's no upside there. Obviously, I'm being facetious here. I don't think Turkey's setting no one up. Yeah, he never set Jamal Khashoggi up, man. Stop playing with me. That wasn't Turkey. Turkey didn't do it. He beat that case. He beat in that case. Not guilty. Yeah, 100%. You can't stick. The Teflon turkey. It don't stick, man. Yeah, you might have heard of the Teflon turkey. It ain't sticking. That case don't stick. He walking free, not guilty. 12 not guilties. How about that? Oops. That's a doopsie doopsie for you, Matt. You hate Jamal Khashoggi haters. How about that one there? Anyway, let's now get to the Frank Warren bars. These are 20 minutes old. The relevance of the timestamp is this is going to give us the most up-to-date situation. We know he's out anyway, but here's some bars from Frank Warren. You man ready? Bash.
Hadn't been felt he had a bit of a cold or a head cold, whatever it was, in the last couple of days, and he just was feeling crap yesterday and felt he had a bit of a hadn't been feeling.
Just run me through it, Frank.
Daniel hadn't been felt he had a bit of a cold or head cold, whatever it was, in the last couple of days, and he just was feeling crap yesterday. And cut long story short, see a local Saudi doctor. Then he was given some medication, and obviously had to check that medication out with VADA to make sure none of it was on the any ingredients were on the banned list. And then the border control doctor wanted to see him, examined him, and declared him unfit to fight. So he wanted to fight, very peed off about it, but it is what it is, and it's unfortunate.
No, I don't necessarily agree with that, by the way. Yeah, I believe Dubois' team made the decision not to fight because he wasn't feeling well. The board won't do. The board only know what you tell them. So it's cap to say, oh, the board. Obviously, I get why they do it. I get why teams do it. Oh, it wasn't in Daniel's control. The board did it. No, the board wouldn't know that you was feeling like a dog, right? Unless you're actively spewing up in their office, and it's impossible to hide. The fact you're feeling under the weather, you have to communicate that. They can only ask you questions. There's no blood test that's going to tell them, oh yeah, this guy's not cleared to fight from having a cold or whatever. You have to verbalise, I'm not feeling great, and then they'll say, oh, we're not sanctioning them. Either way, though, I'm not knocking it. There's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no medals. There's no medals for this. Yeah? There's no medals for it in the end when you get punched up by Joe Parker and you lose your belt. There's no medals. And again, I'll let everyone off once. If it becomes a trend, then we got to talk again. But at this point, first time in his career, really? Is it possible he's now become world champion and he's thinking he's turned into Diva Gate? It's possible. Not my base case. I'm 90% sure it's one of them ones. It's unlucky. 20 fights in, or however many fights he's got unlucky. He's had loads of big fights and never jacked it. He's had loads of underdog fights and hasn't jacked it. He didn't jack the Usyk fight, right? He got in there, at least. He didn't jack none of these other big fights, AJ or whatever. Come on, people. Stop playing.
For everybody concerned, but the boxer's health is paramount. If you're not 100%, as I always say, don't fight.
Frank, I'm guessing it's just a virus, a flu that he's got.
It's apparently it was a bit worse today. He's trying to get out of here now. He's trying to get home. But yeah, and the medication he was given, including some very strong antihistamines or whatever it was, on top of the antibiotics and the other stuff, that apparently one of the side effects is drowsiness. So anyway, that was that. So it is what it is. Very, very unsatisfactory. But when you think about,
oh, that's mad, man. Read one of these comments here. That's mad. That's a mad comment, man. Fair play to this Donny. That's a mad comment. Peep this one here. Dubois caught the clap after running through a Nigerian brass in London last September. That's a top bar, man. Salute to that guy. That's a YB level bar right there, man. Fair play to him. He got the clap. Daniel Dubois ran through a Nigerian brass in September And that's what happens when you got, I don't know, but when you got the clap here, if it's not diagnosed and treated early, it'll drag you down and evolve. What do they call it? Evolve into some next thing. You best believe it. Some next thing starts, your wiggy starts falling off, go gammy looking. Let's put some more bars on here. Bars.
I mean, it's professional boxing, it's about money, but all the work, the hard endeavours, and not just the fighters, everybody concerned. They don't fight, they don't get paid. And he was getting an unbelievable purse. So very disappointing. And disappointing for Joe Parker, who's trained very hard as well.
Frank, this might not be related at all, but obviously we saw Floyd Schofield pull out. That might have been more to do with weight issues rather than being ill. But is there a chance that Daniel and Floyd have got the same illness and there's a virus going around?
I don't know. I don't know what, I've got to be honest, I still to this day don't know what Floyd has got or had or whatever. But I know what Daniel's got, and I know he can't fight, and I wouldn't let him fight.
Wait there a minute, Frank. Let's not get, all due respect, you can't say, oh, well, no, I don't know what Floyd's got, but Daniel's definitely got something. You wouldn't know what he got. If you did, you'd tell people, wouldn't you? What are you going to do? What are you going to... What, it's not like... what? Come on. You're not hiding his... They say, I can't release medical information. What? You can't tell us he's got a common cold, essentially. You know what I mean? Just come out and say it. Here's the receipts. I tested positive for whatever it was. Some moody flu. And it's one of them ones. I'm drained. Anyway... Last thing I'll say is some cats have said, Hatman, Gasman said, yeah, I know what it is. Dubois is playing 5-dimensional matrix chess and he's front-running the Usyk fight. He knows that the Usyk fight's round the corner, so why risk it? Come on, man. He didn't have to take the Parker fight in the first place. It was voluntary. He could have sat down, done nothing, and Turkey booked the Usyk fight for June. Simple as that. That's what he could have done. This is voluntary. Didn't need to take this one. So that's ridiculous. And he ain't going to pull out on one day's notice and cuck Turkey. Right? If he can help it. No one's doing that. To duck Joseph Parker. So wait a minute, man. You're telling me Dubois was feeling 10 out of 10 primo mandingable. And he's just thought, well, actually, I think the Usyk fight makes more sense. No, that's not happened. So that's dead bars. You don't know what he's talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, here's what it is. Let me know your thoughts. The Bacoli video's coming next. You best believe it. Bash. No doubt about it. Smash the like button as well, obviously. Big man thing.